Look around you. Are you in a place that fills you up? Are you in an environment that inspires you? Well, I'm Mindy Oglin, and today we are having I don't know, like a double shot of What If Wednesday. it's like Wednesday times two. Yesterday I had a chance to talk with Natalie Soriano, who is a What If Upper. She is one of our What If Up coaches, and she also is a specialist in helping people design their physical environment so that it's a reflection of not just your best self, but also the person that you see yourself becoming. What if you could have an environment that really is conducive to the dreams that you hold for yourself? What if every time you showed up to be creative, to take those next inspired actions on your dream, what if you were surrounded in a place that actually reinforces that person that you know yourself to be, that leader, that change maker? So that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to go a little deeper than we did yesterday, because yesterday we had some tech issues, but today it's a whole new thing. So for those of you in our What If Up community, you are in a treat, because you're in for a treat because you're here live with us. We're going to put these recordings down in our YouTube channel as well. So we'll do a bit of a mashup on this week's What If Wednesday. But with no further ado, welcome, Natalie. Hi, Natalie. Great to have
Hi,
you
Mindy.
here.
Thanks. What are we calling today if it's not Wednesday?
Let's see. Truly terrific Thursday.
Ooh, I love it.
Yeah. Or just Wednesday, even better. Wednesday plus plus.
What if it continues Wednesday?
Wednesday part two. Wednesday the sequel. I don't know. I don't know.
I
What should
love
we
it.
call it? So it's great to have you here. You are, as and most of our community knows you as the Joyful Genie. You're in our community, What If Upping, as a coach, as a part of our ambassador certification program. And you have this amazing gift of being able to see a space and to make it not only functional and efficient and productive, but also to bring an energy into that space that is in alignment with what someone is dreaming of creating. So talk about that. Like, where did this superpower come from? What got you interested in it, and how have you used it in your own life? We'll
Well,
start
since
there.
we're going deeper, what's coming to me now is I didn't have a super happy home growing up. And so my bedroom was the only place that was almost completely mine. And people still came in and out. But I started moving furniture around when I was 4. I think I just kept moving the space. I kept trying to make it feel more like my own. And my parents didn't know me very well. They made my whole space pink. I'm not a pink person. So it was like Pepto Bismol all over the walls. So I think that's probably like that, and just wanting order in my life. I think that's where the 2 gifts kind of came together. I
Yeah.
really I don't wanna just feel comfortable in my home. I wanna feel creative and inspired and all the good stuff.
Yeah, it's a reflection of who you are. I
Yeah.
actually, so, my daughter Jenna is into all kinds of outdoor nature exploration, things like that. And we were reading about, I think most of us as kids, we go through a phase. I used to rearrange the furniture in my room all the time. Jenna does the same thing. And I think there's a phase we all go through in life where we go out, and if we can like build a fort or a tree house, or there's something about having a space that's your own, a
Yeah.
space that you create, that your energy is in, that is, I don't know, maybe like a fundamental desire that I think humans have. So then the question becomes, so here we are, what if uppers? We have these goals, these intentions, these things that we want, that we put out there. And then the question is there anything in our space that is actually creating some resistance to that? Or how can we intentionally, what if we could intentionally maneuver our space, transform our space so that it is conducive to supporting us in the things that we want to create. So let's talk about the first piece of that. Like, in what ways do you see people have things in their physical environment that are actually slowing them down, stopping them from moving forward in some of the ways, that could be more powerful? How
I
does
think the
this
big
get in our way?
Yeah, the biggest thing is clutter.
Yeah.
Just clutter and piles of stuff. And I'm not talking about when you're in the creative flow and you need to just expand and make everything your canvas, but just things that you know are not working. things that are broken, things that need to be released. And I remember reading in the Success Principles, there was one chapter called Cleaning Up Your Incompletes.
Mhm.
And it was all about that even if you think you're not noticing these things, there's a part of your energy that goes to them every time you walk by them. So it feels draining, I think, when we actually are aware of it.
Yeah, I find the same thing when I walk through my house. I'm always like scanning, like, does that need to get put away? Does that
Mhm.
need to be vacuumed? Does that need to be like, what needs to happen? And so
Yeah.
creating a sense of order is high priority for me because I find that when there's clutter, it does drain my creative energy. Creative
Yeah.
energy is it takes so much focus for me to focus within myself and to allow that creative mind to have the reins. And if
Mhm.
I find a distraction, the slightest distraction, I will take it. I will take it and run with it.
Yes.
So, yeah, and those piles, they can start to feel a little heavy. So, if you walk into someone's space and the first thing you notice is they've got, here's the to-do list for, tomorrow, and here's the one from last week, and here's the one from the week before. So, when you find there's clutter or there's just a lot of incomplete things, what suggestions do you have for how do we deal with that and how do we move past that?
The funny thing is, this is like a common question that I get. People are so afraid to show me their space. So I just have to say, first of all, this is one area of my life where I have absolutely no judgment. I've seen so many things and nothing bothers me. So that's the first piece I really want people to know is that you might feel shame, but there's no reason to. It's just life just accumulated. So what I would really do, I like starting with the vision. So what if you can't see it yet, just because the space is a little full, who do you want to be or what do you want to be doing? And then I like to clear stuff out as quickly as possible. So just if people have the extra space and we can move everything out, that's great.
Mhm.
That's not always a possibility, but we can at least do it in sections. So it feels really, really manageable.
Yeah. So you can take a corner and say, this
Yes.
section, this drawer, this, like you could take one drawer and just
Hmm.
dump it out and put in the things that you want. And
Yeah.
it feels really good. Uh,
Because I think starting is the biggest obstacle for most people. It feels so huge that they don't know where to start. And when I just open one little thing, I've sometimes even just taped off a section of the floor. So this is all, I see it every time they start wandering to something different because it's more exciting. I said, I know, but you're just going to stay in your little section, and then you feel a sense of accomplishment that day. So and I also need that kind of help when I'm doing something I don't want to be doing. So
yeah.
it's a normal thing.
Yeah. I think it's the letting go of things can be challenging.
Yeah.
The daunting task of, going into your filing folders. It's coming up on tax season, so I've like been redoing all my folders and my systems and all those types of things. And it's like that's never what I really want to be doing on the weekend.
Right.
But what I do really love is I love the feeling that I have
Mhm.
when it's done. So, once you have a system that you can use and you can optimize, I think it's a good motivator. So,
Yeah.
and talk about because you go in there and you help. So talk about that piece of it. When you have someone that can help you, whether it's a coach, like, you do coaching and programs and things like that, or just to have a friend or a spouse or a child or someone helping you do that.
Yeah.
What have you found in terms of having that kind of support? How does that help?
Oh, it takes the weight off of the person who thinks they have to do it alone. So I remember when I left teaching as a profession, and all the stuff I had from teaching was in the garage for a couple of years.
Mhm.
And one day I just decided I need to go through it all because I knew I wasn't going back there, but it felt daunting to me. So I asked my husband to come into the garage and just stand there. I said, "You can occupy yourself with something else, but just be close enough." And what was really cool is I found a few things that I liked and I could go show them to him. So I actually think the storytelling is part of the letting go
Yeah.
too. I found one out of everything. I found one piece of paper that I kept, and it was my notes from my very first day of class. Where I
Oh.
quoted Confucius to seventh graders. That I had high hopes that year.
Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah.
And I would think that's one of the difficult things is we think, okay, if I'm gonna take on this pile of stuff, I know there's things I'm gonna have to let go of. And that letting go is a huge piece of creating the space to go where you want to go next. I know I have had that where I'm like, oh gosh, this is the first I did this recently. I have a folder of all the different things that I've done, all the different businesses I've launched, and here's the logo that I had for my first business, and here's the mail out that I did for my first, this, that, or the other. So, how do you help people decide, like, what do you keep, what do you let go of, and how do you know when it's time to let go?
I'm going to answer those questions, and I just want to almost like put a pin in something. What if we could what if up the process of letting go
Oh
in a
yeah,
little
yeah, yeah.
bit?
Let's do that.
But what really helped me with deciding is I read Marie Kondo's book, The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up. I read it about 8 years ago, and I just went through the whole house, and I just kept asking, do I feel any joy? Does this bring me joy? And if it didn't, I tossed it, or I donated it, or I gave it to somebody, and now what I find after having done it for so long, I can go through a store and there's something cute that really looks attractive. I'll just walk around with it for a little bit. And sometimes that's all I need. And then I can put it back. But when we're so in the mess, sometimes we don't feel like joy is possible. But it
Mhm.
is. It's all about the feeling. I think it's not really about the actual stuff. Sometimes it is, but mostly it's about the feeling. Then do I think I'm going to lose this memory of this person if I give away something they gave me?
Right. Yeah, that's really true. So let's what if up that, because
Yeah.
that's a really big thing, is the letting go of things. So,
Yeah.
what if it all begins with a deep breath?
What if that space in between who you are now and who you really want to be is actually not a scary thing? What if that's the place where you come alive?
Mm. And what if in letting go, what if you don't have to let go of everything, but what if in letting go of the things that feel like they are no longer serving a purpose in your life?
Mhm.
What if that spaciousness allows for more deep breaths, allows for more creativity, and allows for more flow?
Yes. What if I can't guarantee that you will lose 10 physical pounds? But what if it will feel like you've lost 20 emotional pounds at the end of this?
What if you lose 20 pounds of stuff? What if every time you take a trash bag, it feels like emotional weight that's been lifted?
Yeah. And
And
what if
what if
you make it? Go ahead.
I would say, what if you can find ways? I know for me, I have a lot of things I like to hold on to, and so I'll digitize them or I'll hang on to them in a different way. So, what if you could find ways to hold on to the things that matter to you in a way that doesn't create clutter and doesn't
Yes.
prevent you from stepping into the person in the space that you want to create?
Yeah, and what a cool way. What if you make a scrapbook or a quilt out of the things that you have been collecting? So what if it turns into art so you can actually display your past in a way
Yeah.
that makes you proud?
What if you make a shadow box with all of your favorite things that can hold on to your most special memories? So
Sidebar, I made a gingerbread zombie man, this zombie cookie this past winter, and I really wish I had saved it in a shadow box. It looks so cool. So this year I'm
See?
gonna try again.
You can create it, you can have it for a while, and you can let it go. Um, so, yeah, that the cookie's not gonna last that long, so yes. So for those of you that are watching, if you have ideas, like what are your possibilities? What are your what ifs for how to let things go? Because I think, when I move into a space, and I've done this, when I move into a new house, I've moved a lot. I've moved into new offices, new churches. When I was leading the church, we had this huge facility. And the first thing we did is, well, two things is we went through and we released the things that didn't fit. So it's like, okay, here's this space, and there's um, artwork on the wall that was left behind, and it's dated, and it's doesn't go, and it's not reflective of who we want to be. So we're either going to let that go, or we're going to paint it, or we're going to do something with it so that it matches. Like, can I take what I have and either toss it, or can I transform it
Mhm.
so that it matches where I want it to be? So I think that's two things. Like, what can I let go of, and then what are the things that I have that if I put a little bit of energy into transforming it, it actually really would suit me well for what I want to create.
Right.
It's really fun to find things that are old, old purpose. The purpose is gone, but now I have a new idea for it, a new purpose for it.
Yeah.
So,
And I took a cross country adventure last year, and when I came back, I was not 100% thrilled. I knew I needed to pick something, and so we came back, and I just dove into the church, and I said, I'm just going to organize everything I can get my hands on. I'm going to organize it. I'll ask people if these things can be moved out. But I felt like especially after the pandemic, we just needed to shift things around and
Mhm.
sort through, and it's been great. And I feel like it's opening up the energy here that new people are finding us. We're doing more events and all that. So I think that was a huge part of it. It's just kind of dust the cobwebs.
Yeah, and I think in the letting go of things, I know when we let go of things, we don't just throw them in the trash can. You know,
Hmm.
we donate them, or we gift
Yeah,
them, or we repurpose them, or it's kind of fun to take those things that's like, okay, this that had a purpose for me at one time in my life, but now what purpose can it serve? And it does create some energy flow and
yeah,
uh, that giving spirit, so. So I love it. Okay, so now we have let go of things. We've
mhm,
transformed a few of our favorite mementos, and now we've got a blank canvas, or at least we have an opening to create the space that is reflective of the dream that we have and where we want to go. So, what ideas and tips do you have for stepping
mhm.
into that kind of space?
I don't know if you know this, but I'm a very feeling person. So I would go with,
I think I knew that about you. I think I knew
yes,
that out.
I go with the feeling first. So how do I want to feel? Because then my body actually sits or carries itself differently. My biggest thing, like for me, I want to feel open. I want to feel creative and fully expressed. And I think those are the kinds of women who come into my life too. So I
Mhm.
would ask them, what do you want to be doing with your life? Do you want to be a voiceover artist? Do you want to be an actress? So just anything that you've got going on, let's stand in that space. And then how can we turn your own little sanctuary into that place where you feel you can rehearse or read scripts or whatever you need to do.
I love that. So sort of put yourself in it, pretend
Yeah.
as if, right? What if
Mhm.
I am that famous actress? What if I am that business leader? What if I am that best-selling author? What if I am that now? What is the space that I need to be able to be my best?
Yeah.
So then what do? You just kind of brainstorm that out and make a list of, oh, I need a space for my crafts, or I need a space for my paints, or I need a space for how do you take that and then put that into a plan for a room?
Hmm. I don't really talk about the plan much with the people as we're going. I kind of, the first big chunk is taking things out. So I think as we're doing that, I can start asking questions that
Mhm.
kind of get to know them as we're working. And then it sort of seems to, it's almost like they reach this point where they have an opening too. And they're like, okay, now I can see it more clearly. So
Uh,
it's never really about pushing it. I mean,
yeah.
I might do it differently for myself, but I think for them, yeah, there is a point where they just say, I can finally see it. The clouds have parted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. It's such a great metaphor for how we create, because sometimes it's like, I don't know exactly what this thing is I'm creating, but I know that this doesn't belong in it.
Mhm.
And I know that this might belong in it, but not like it is right now. And if I can get rid of what shouldn't be there, then it sometimes can help me see the next step of, okay, well, what do I want to put here? What do I need to put
Yeah.
there? So I think that's how the creative process works. So
But my big vision for
yeah,
women is to
yeah,
create, I want to have a she shed business where I could do this virtually too. But
yeah,
I really want women to have a space that's outside of the house if they can, that they can go that's just for them. Like you were saying with Jenna and her fort.
yeah,
So yeah,
yeah.
like could we design them to be that, could that be your creative space?
Yes. Yes. She sells she shed by the seashore.
I wanted to call it he said she shed, but it's hard to get
He
out of
said
my
she
mouth.
sheds.
She
I like that. I like that. So this week, in our What If Up Club community, which by the way, if you're not in it, join it. Whatifup.org. It's super, super easy to sign up. It is
it's
free
fun too.
and we have a great time. And every week we have a challenge. And the challenge is just to kind of give us something that we can rally behind. So incrementally, so I take it that one thing. What's the one thing I could focus on this week? So this week, the challenge is to create your dream space.
Mhm.
And by dream space, as we were kind of brainstorming this, like dream space isn't necessarily like, I'm going to build my dream house. What we're talking about is create the space where your dreams can come to life. Create a space for yourself to be creative and to nurture and nourish your dreams. So, Natalie, how would you describe your dream space, or your ultimate? Like, what could you take on this week? Have you thought about the challenge? Like, what are you going to take on to enrich or create a dream space for yourself?
Well, I just want to add to that that currently in my house, if you didn't see yesterday's episode, is my current space is sitting on a chair that I ask nobody else to sit on, and I put a blanket over my head, and that is my little safe creative space. I move out of it to do other things, but
Mm.
so you might just have that to start with. So don't beat yourself up if that's all you have, because it's great.
And
And then your question was, what will I do this week? Hmm, I haven't thought about that yet.
thought about that yet. Well, you have until next Wednesday, so,
Okay.
challenge is on, and
Ooh,
the prize for the challenge, it's big. I mean, it's like game on. So, Natalie, you wanna share what you're offering for our winner for the week?
I will, but like if I win, do I win a session with myself?
You
Is
do.
this
You
okay?
do, and it's
Okay, cool.
fantastic. You're gonna love it.
I'll record it side by
We
side.
might we might pull ourselves out, so
Okay, so this week, if you're the prize is a lightning round coaching session with me. So you can either share a dream or share your space if you want some tips or ideas of how to start moving forward. I would love to see it.
awesome. Okay, super, super fun. So
Mhm.
that's the prize, and the challenge is
All right.
to yeah, the challenge is to do something. So, and it could be a candle that you light,
Mhm.
it can be something, it could be a little corner of your bedroom where you burn some incense and or put a photograph that means something, or where you keep your journal. Maybe it's a chair where you have your journal. I love your idea with the blanket. I love having something that's just anchored to, okay, when the blanket's on my head, this is me time. It's funny because I just got recently, I got this new chair for my office.
Ooh.
So it's like a super comfy little chair. And I had yesterday I was eating at my little table back here, and my family came in, and everyone was sharing about their day and all that. And Jenna was up there and she sat next to me, and then she had a friend over, and her friend came and sat in my chair, and I went.
Yep.
Like, isn't that weird? Like, we can create such a connection between
Yeah.
our our space, our workspace, our creative space. It was really funny for me to notice that I didn't think anything about this chair until someone else sat in it. And
Oh,
that's the power of creating a space that is uniquely yours.
I had the same experience a few weeks ago when a friend came over to our house and I put a chair out for him. And then he happened to move to my chair to plug his phone in, and I'm sitting there gripping the handles of the couch, like, no, now I have to get sage. But I didn't do it. I just thought it
That's my
was
spot.
maybe 3 minutes total that he was in it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I think it's great to have your spot, I mean, sometimes it's great to mix it up a little, and that's probably, something for another day, but
Yes.
to have your place where you can go, where
Yeah.
it's a sanctuary for yourself. So yeah, so we are having an impromptu What If Wednesday, Thursday edition, since we had some tech issues yesterday. So thank you for watching. If you have some ideas on what's possible for this space, let's do a little what if upping on that. Like, what is possible for your dream space? What if this week, in just maybe like 5 minutes, what if even 10 minutes of focus allows you to transform a space that just frees you and frees your creativity so that you can create that next thing for
Yes. What
yourself?
if you declare that you are now an interior designer working on your interior?
Yes. What if that interior design begins inside and just gets easily and effortlessly reflected? And what if the work that we're doing in our external world is also making shifts within us as well? What if by choosing to make changes to our external surroundings, we are demonstrating a willingness to let go and to change and to step into something new?
What if, when you release something, you identify an emotion that's going with it? So, what if you are releasing guilt or shame or procrastination?
Yes,
That's not a
and what
feeling.
if you're releasing a celebration? What if you're releasing an acknowledgement of, "Yes, I did that, and that was a part of my life, and I'm ready, I'm building upon that. It's time to build upon that. It's time to let that go so that I can take my next chapter."
I love it.
What if it's a celebration? So, possibilities. The challenge is on. Create your dream space. Any other thoughts, Natalie? Anything that I missed?
You
Anything?
kind of mentioned it when we were what if upping, but I was going to recommend set a timer. If it feels overwhelming, set a timer for 5 minutes, 10 minutes on your phone, whatever you need to do, and just do something in your space. Or what's my other? Or just pick a small area, like a tiny drawer or a corner. So make it visually manageable too. And I
Oh,
think
I
you'll
love that.
find you might even go past your time, which is okay. I know.
That happens to me all the time. It happens to me all the time. So yes, if I'm going to do this for 5 minutes, get yourself going because you're right. The starting sometimes is the hardest part.
Yeah, and I don't I put it on the stopwatch setting instead of the timer so that if it goes past, I don't know, and I just stay in the flow.
You can see it. I love
Mhm.
it. What a great tip. What a great tip. So if you're in for the challenge, find your space, make whether it's a drawer or a countertop or whatever, take a picture, take a before and after if you think about it. I always forget to take the before picture,
A
but
glove compartment.
yeah, glove compartment. Yes, that would be great. So sometimes it's like the floorboard of my car. Cleaning out my car. That does feel good. So maybe that's what I'm going to take on. That might be my thing.
Ooh, okay.
So thank you, Natalie. Thanks for joining and sharing your fabulous ideas for creating a dream space.
Thanks for having me. You're so easy to talk to.
Well, we have a good time together, don't we?
Yes.
So thank you all for watching as well. And it's kind of fun to pop in on a non-Wednesday and and do something a little special for the community. So
We're
um,
rebels.
we're rebels. So post a comment. Let us know what you're thinking, what your ideas are, some of your best tips for creating a space that you really love. And of course, we'd love to see some pictures. So thank you, Natalie. Thanks for being
Thank
here. And
you.
thanks everybody for
Bye,
watching.
everyone.
See you on Wednesday. Bye. Oh, there you are. There I am. Bye, everybody. See you next